I am Stokes Fishburne.
And I'm Pat Fishburne.
Friends and Family is a series of emails that we put out even now that describe our trips. That includes 6 to 8 nice pictures, and it tells over 400 people that we send this out to what we're doing, and we hear from them and all. It has worked out amazingly well, and over those 7 years, we produced 134 friends and families that have pictures and texts in them.
And this is the first one. It was very simple. Well, that very first one, we only had 3 pictures in it, and we had no intention of doing what happened. The Friends and Family became a regular thing. We sent out over 130 in the 7 years. And it was a wonderful way of keeping in touch with our family and our friends, because when they would get these, people would write back to us. So, you know, they stayed in touch with us for 7 years that way. In the beginning, we just simply sent it to our daughters, the first couple. And then we started sending it out to my mother and to friends and larger family and everything. And it just grew over the years. And we finally had to separate them into all different categories because we had such a large number, 400, and AOL would bounce them. So we had to categorize them. So we had, you know, the Cardinals were old friends, and then we had the boobies were our relatives. And then we had hummingbirds for people we met on the road. We just categorized them into different groups of people. Now we have over 400.
Well, this is like when you're sending an email out to a group of people, you just put the group name in. Well, we would put in 400 names, and AOL would say, you can't do that. So these names, like the hummingbirds and the boobies and the cardinals, those were the names that we would put in. Then it would go in and pick up the 30 names or whatever and send out the email.
It was a lot of work to put the emails together because they grew to 6 pages, and then we always tried to limit it to 8 pictures. And we tried to have half the pictures be his and half be mine. In the years when we were really traveling a lot, like 2003, 2004, 2005, I imagine we had 20 some a year.
Yeah, well, the thing is also, when we started our Odyssey in 2002, that's when electronic cameras, digital photography, was really starting to take off. So we didn't have to find a place to have the film developed. We did it, and on the computers. We had computers, each of us, in the motorhome, and we just did everything that way. Well,
Stowe started out with a tiny little camera, small Olympus, I think it was, and it had a delay on it. You know, so that wasn't a very great one, but that was 2002. That's about all they had available. And I was still doing film. But I was running around with all these cans of film to be developed, and Stokes would throw his on the computer, and so I got kind of jealous. You know, he could see his immediately. I had to wait weeks for I could find a good place to have it developed. So little by little, I started borrowing his camera, then he got a better camera, and finally we just simply ditched the film and went to digital.
A lot of our pictures, most of them, are taken in really desolate areas. 5 or 6 people in the town, that's it, you know, and so we'd have to wait quite a while sometimes to be able to develop the film. But with the motorhome and the digital cameras, we just come back, turn the generator on, we get power from the motorhome. We're all self-contained. And we turn the computers on and look at the pictures and adjust and everything. So
in addition to people we know, we have people on our list that we don't even know, because somebody will say, well, I send this on to my daughter. Would you just mind putting her name on the list so she can get it? And we'd say, fine. And somebody would say, well, I send it on to my grandmother or to my aunt or whatever. So we had people we were corresponding with that we didn't even know. People tell us that they are able to see things that they'll never see, so they see them vicariously through us. We got responses from several people who were teaching because their parents sent them pictures and everything, and they would use them in the classroom. And so it was wonderful to think that it was reaching so many people. Well, you see, we didn't know how to do it in the beginning either, and it certainly we had no intention of doing it on a regular basis. It was just something that happened. Yep. And we started out, the first one, with just 3 pictures, a couple lines of text to say where we were and what we were doing, and that was the very first one. And then little by little, we just kept taking more pictures, and of course we wanted to tell people where we were. We were on the Rogue River, we took a boat up the river and everything. So as we started telling people stories and putting the pictures with them, it just happened. But then we decided we only wanted to have 8 pictures on any given email, because it did get too complicated and took too long for them to download. So what we did was, for example, when we went to Italy, we broke that down to 3 different emails. And when we would go to the Everglades, we might break that down to 2 emails and just put 8 pictures in each email.
Hardly ever more than 8 pictures. And the pictures are on your computer screen about that big, so you can see a pretty decent picture. And about the total package is roughly 5 pages, 4 to 5 pages, in that range. And you can get a lot of information in there without going into an 8 or 10 page document, which is a lot of work. We get the basic information to describe, everything is around the description of the picture. When we haven't sent something out, like she mentioned earlier, people say, hey, we haven't, have you taken me off your list? Or whatever, hey, what's happening with the Fishburnes?
That's another thing that happened. People will see our emails and they'll write to us or call us and they'll say, have you been to Grand Canyon? Can you send me an email about Grand Canyon, because we're going to go. And so this gives them a kind of an idea of what to look at, what to look for. And the other thing that's happened is people have actually gone to places that we've told them about, and they've ended up moving there.
We're just going to keep on doing it, probably 1 a month or something, until we can't do it anymore. Because we enjoy, it's a way of communicating with people. And especially when you get a special picture, and that some of your photographer friends haven't seen that before.